come Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appear.
Hey everybody, and welcome to day 23 of Advent Thoughts. We're so close, we're almost there. You are probably stunned to see me in my Christmas pajamas. You are probably also more bizarrely stunned to see me in my Christmas pajamas in my office. Everybody at my house is back home, getting ready for Christmas, preparing, and the office is closed today, so it's the best place to cut the video nice and quiet. So I grabbed my jammies, and here I am. A couple years ago, most of you know this story, we started a tradition on accident here at St. Bartholomew's. It was a tradition in the way that traditions happen. It grew out of something else. See, the tradition in my family is that we all get new pajamas on Christmas Eve. That's always been the tradition since I was a kid. And lots of families have it, I think. So it was that when Jess and I got married, we kept that tradition. I would get her jammies, she would get me jammies, and then when we had Des, we started to do that tradition again. And then we started getting fantastic matching jammies. And so it was that on year 3, I went home, and between the services, after the early service, I changed into my jammies. I headed out, did all the Christmas stuff at home, and then I went back to my room while Jess was getting Des in sleep and changed back into my monkey suit, into my clericals, so that I could come and do the late service. And Des had a fit. Total meltdown. Upset that I wasn't going to wear my jammies, that we were doing this thing together, and even though I was leaving, I could stay somewhere. I could still be the same. And I had in that moment the panic that I think so many of us have, that sort of push and pull and tear and grab of this season and of our lives most days. The burden of wanting to please and be part of and say yes to what my child was really asking, which was a relatively simple thing, and the responsibilities of my work and my life and the things that I do. And I had all the anxieties that if I showed up in pajamas, people would freak out. Like it lacks decorum, it lacks this, it lacks this, it's not appropriate, it's not this. I'd look silly. But I looked into that little girl's eyes, and I realized in a weird way she was saying the same thing that I say on Sundays when I look into the camera and I say, even though you aren't here doing this thing with us, know that I know your presence and feel your presence in this holy work. She was saying, Dad, even though I know you have to go back to work, if you can stay connected with us in this way, I know that you're here and I'm with you and you're with me. So it was that I left the house in what was that year's pajamas, red, white, and green candy-striped pants with a shirt on with a bear that said, Daddy. And I got to the church and I put everything on, figuring that no one would really see me if I got here early enough. And I threw everything on, and I realized when I looked down that you could see the brightness of the stripes of the pants shining through my alb. And I was mortified, and I was so embarrassed. And then I had to get up and explain to everybody why I was wearing this ridiculous outfit. And to a man and to a person, everyone said, how cool is that? And so it just became a tradition for me that I would just wear my pajamas to the 10:30 service. But when I got here the next year, a couple other people were wearing their pajamas. And the next year, a couple more. And the next year, a couple more. Now we have 10, 12, a dozen, a little more than a dozen people wearing their pajamas. And it's become the Pajama Jesus Jam. It's taken on a life of its own. See, so much of our life, we don't do things that we know and feel called to do Because we're terrified. Terrified of being embarrassed, terrified of being ashamed, terrified of being mocked, terrified of what other people will think. But a little girl asked. Jesus reminds us to gather the little children close, to listen to them and heed their words, and to have a childlike faith. As we enter into these last few days of preparing the way for this child who is asking us to join him in this holy work. What work are you avoiding because you don't want to feel silly? Because you don't want the world to see you in your jammies? What work are you not doing because you're ashamed or embarrassed that this is the talent that you have? For an angel of the Lord appears unto all of us and says, do not be afraid, for I have gifted you greatly, if you are but brave enough to walk with me. For we are doing this together. You, me, and this Jesus born in just 2 more days. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here throughout the process. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.